Hey everyone, this is Joelle from Salt Software. In this video, we're going to be going over elicitation for collecting bilingual Spanish-English language samples using Salt Software. Let's start by quickly reviewing some elicitation tips. These are kind of general tips that work for all language samples if you're doing retells or narratives. And the first one is just to be very familiar with the elicitation protocol. This is important because we want to take a standard language sample. We want you to collect the sample the same way in which the SALT reference database samples were collected, and that way you're really ensuring a valid comparison of your student's sample to the SALT reference database. You want to make sure that you're collecting an age-appropriate language sample. Make sure you're using the right story given the age, and also just have your materials ready to go to make it a little bit more seamless. Our second tip is don't be afraid of that awkward pause. The clinician's role in a retell are unique. Anything narrative should really be minimal. You don't want to insert yourself, be leading the speaker. So just give them time to kind of formulate their own retell or their own unique story, and be more of an active participant and encourage them to speak by kind of that passive speaking, like, great job, keep going, that type of thing, instead of really inserting yourself. And the other thing is you want to think about what clinical questions you're hoping to answer. Are you looking to just measure narrative skills, as narrative skills are so embedded within the curriculum and the Common Core standards? Are you looking to track progress at progress note time 1, time 2? Are they making any changes in progress in therapy? Or is it maybe an initial where you're hoping to differentiate, is this truly a language disorder, or is it just a language difference and maybe the student needs more time to acquire English? For more information on our elicitations, you can go to saltsoftware.com, resources, databases, and there's tons of information on all of the elicitation protocols there. So with the bilingual SALT reference databases, it's all about the frog stories, Mercer Mayer's wordless picture book, Frog Stories. So let's get into some of the elicitations that you could be collecting. Our databases go from kindergarten to 3rd grade. The first set are the narrative story retells, and that is where there's a script of the story. There's also an audio. If you'd rather play the audio, those are available on our website, where the student listens to it and then they're retelling the story. So if you go by grade, kindergarten, there are stories using Frog, Where Are You? And Frog Goes to Dinner. 1st grade, Frog, Where Are You? Frog on His Own. 2nd grade, Frog, Where Are You? And Frog Goes to Dinner. And 3rd grade is Frog, Where Are You? So by default, just pick Frog, Where Are You? If you're wondering, for K through 3. And then the unique story elicitation protocol is essentially the student and the clinician kind of do a book walk, page walk through the book, look at the pictures. There's not a script for the clinician to tell the story with. It's just silent. They're looking at the pictures, and then you hand the book to the student, and they're generating their own unique story. So that one is with one frog too many only. There's also a monolingual database. These were collected from children in Guadalajara, Mexico, who are very monolingual Spanish at home and at school. So this might be something, if you have a newcomer who's only speaking Spanish, this would be a great comparison database for a student with that type of educational profile. So for kindergarten through 3rd grade, there's Frog, Where Are You? Frog Goes to Dinner, and Frog on His Own, and One Frog Too Many. So there's some options there, an additional database. This is just kind of a quick overview, one-pager on all of the possible books, just to make sure you're doing the right story for your elicitation context that you've chosen. So this is just a quick look. Again, kind of go by grade is the best way to approach this. In addition to the transcript, well, you'll get basic measures like main length of utterance, words per minute, number of different words and so forth, the number of errors, etc. We also have additional analysis, so you really get a lot of information by collecting one quick 5-minute story. The subordination index can be applied to your transcript, and that is essentially measuring clausal density and syntax. So if they're using more robust, sophisticated sentences like, the boy called, Frog, Frog, where are you? That's a score of SI2 versus the dog fell out of the window. That's an SI1. So that's a good way to track kind of syntactical growth over time. We also have the narrative scoring scheme, which measures structure and content. Maybe their measures are pretty good within the average range, but they're referencing, you may have no idea who they're referring to in the story, or they have lots of kind of cohesion difficulties where the story's not flowing. Things might be out of order, for example. So that's a great one for measuring structure and content. We also have comprehension questions that are based on Bloom's taxonomy. So there's a hierarchy of questions like remembering, understanding, analyzing, and creating, and so forth. And those are modeled on Bloom's taxonomy. And that's more of an informal measure, but that can just give you a lot of data as far as other aspects of narrative language. I want to take just a moment to describe what we have available for kits on our webpage. Here's the bilingual kit, and this is kind of a picture of what you get in that kit. So there's the scripts that come on a little USB drive, comprehension questions that are in Spanish and in English, of course, and then you get the books for Frog, Where Are You?, Frog Goes to Dinner, Frog on His Own, and One Frog Too Many, as well as just the directions in the elicitation protocol. We also have an online elicitation program, and what this is it's all kind of guided by this avatar who essentially collects the sample for you. This might be a good option for monolingual therapists who are doing bilingual evaluations. You basically click a button, and this is our Eric avatar, and he will speak in English and in Spanish and instruct the student. If you are using this is a subscription-based program, and the books are integrated into the program. So if you're using the online elicitation program, that's all you would really need. So just to make you aware that that is available. Again, great for bilingual evals, especially if you are not fluent in Spanish. All right, here's our contact information. We really like hearing from everyone. Please feel free to contact us, and we're here to help. Thanks for listening.